Mr. Solomon Olamilekon, representing Ogun West Senatorial District. Mr. President, let me also join my colleague in commending the committee for a job well done, but with some reservation. Mr. President, before I go into just the document that is before us, I strongly believe that there are some salient issues which we should ask ourselves. And I know for a known fact that the government, successive administration has done a lot in the educational sector. Even from the content of the reports, where you observe from the activities before the observation and the recommendation, it shows the committee in this document also show the effort of the government that has been done regarding the out-of-school children. But we are not looking at one important areas which all of us should ask questions about, which is at the subnational level. There are a lot of effort. For instance, the universal basic education, which you've just mentioned. Mr. President, the rule about the universal basic education is that the government will provide certain parts of the fund, while the state government will complement. But we have billions of naira lying fallow at the universal basic education, with the state unable to come up with their own counterpart funding to address all these menace we have under the out-of-school children. They cannot come up with the fund. And the federal government every year, because universal basic education in the budgetary allocation is on a first-line charge. It's a first-line charge item. So the federal government is providing their fund, but the subnationals are not coming up with their own counterpart funding, which is a problem. So, Mr. President, I want to say that the government is doing a lot of effort is being, as contained in this report. The identification and the exercise carried alone identify about 24,000 out-of-school children between 2021 and 2023. About 1 million enrollment has been done regarding the out-of-school children, as contained in this report. As contained in this report. While the report also raises the challenges that is confronting, but in their recommendation, some of the challenges that were raised, they were silent on it. And this is one area I want us to look at. I will give you, for instance, Mr. President, if you look at page he said, on page 4, he said the major factors responsible for the spate of the out-of-school children. He said, number 1, educational demand barriers, issues around poverty and lack of resources to enroll children in school and socio-cultural norms, tradition and beliefs. 2, he said educational supply barriers, non-availability of sufficient classroom, deficit of qualified teachers, particularly in rural areas, teachers, guides and learning materials from the government. As we go to their recommendation, they were silent on some of these important items they have identified as the major barriers. So, Mr. President, I want to agree that yes, this is a menace in our hand which we need to tackle. But at the same time, we need to do more at the subnational level, because this is where it all started. As we speak, payment of the salaries of primary school teachers, even their areas, are domiciled with the local government authorities. It's with them. So I think the subnational should do more in this regard. We should not put all problems, everything, at the doorstep of the federal government. Federal government is to come up with a national policy that will cover every areas regarding these out-of-school children, but we should call on the subnationals as well to do more to assist in this regard. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Let me add, do you all have page 4?